and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the people of the tube. Hope today, hope you're feeling grand, and all around the world. Hello, everybody. The intro today was inspired by question 2, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But okay, so let's get to question 1. Welcome to an AQ Wednesday. I don't know if I already said that, but I just did. Ha! He's mad. Moving along. Hi. So question 1 today, everybody, is did your pick and string gauge change over time? Plectrum wise, I mean, I've always preferred really bendy picks. Like, you know, I don't like really tough, thick plectrums. I don't like the way they feel. My initial plectrums, I still got my first ever plectrum, but I mean, I've always liked really kind of thin picks, and I have, dabbled with thicker ones here and there. And most of the wear done on Mr. Red down here was done because of thick. The only plectrums I had at that period of time were really thick, and I just chewed the finish up. That wouldn't have happened if I was using my .60s as quick as it did. But because I was using really heavy pick at the time, I was using what was it? I don't know why I was using it. I wasn't in the right frame of mind to be thinking about that kind of thing anyway, so I don't really know why I was using such a heavy plectrum at the time. But the reason this got chewed up so much here, so quick, is because the plectrum I was using was so heavy. And I'm quite heavy-handed anyway, so it takes me quite a while to burn through finish because of the plectrum so thin, but I do scratch the finish. But the pick I was using was, I don't know, it was over 1. It was over 1 millimeter. It was a thick pick. It was a really big pick, but that's why, that and aggression, sadness, and heartbreak of a relationship breakup, causes nitrocellulose to just disappear. Anyway, but they have changed over time. But once I found the .60mm Plex, these ones, I stuck to these like glue. Once I found John Frusciante used these, I thought I would try them, and I really like these. I like .50 as well, and I like .48 for acoustics. I don't like, funny enough, I don't like .60 or .50 on an acoustic guitar. I like the .48s, so they're really thin for an acoustic guitar. I don't like playing acoustic guitar with .50s or .50s or .60s. They just don't feel right to me. Whereas the .48 feels really nice on an acoustic guitar for me. I mean, that's ridiculously thin, but I really like it. String gauges, they fluctuate. I mean, way back when I started, I was using 9s, and then I found out John Frusciante and Matt Bellamy used 10s, so I went to 10s. And I've kind of flip-flopped between the two, to be honest with you. I've got 9s on Mr. Red at this point in time. Who knows, in a year's time, a month's time, a week's time, I might go back to 10s. It just varies, but I never go between 9. I always go between 9s and 10s. I've tried 11s, hate them. Tried 12s, hate them even more. I'm going to sneeze. Hello everybody again. You really didn't want to see me sneeze on camera. That's not cool. Okay, so where was I? Yeah. So but I'll never go. I like 8s and I like 7s, but 9s are my happy place. Definitely 9s are definitely my happy place, and 10s are that's pretty good place. You know what I mean? It's like, that'll do. But I definitely like 9s at this point in time. That, like I say, that could change. Who knows? It's so variable. But yeah, picks not really changed for a long time. Like I said, as soon as I found the .60s, I was a happy little bunny. But they have, there was an evolution to them. You know what I mean? But now, for the longest time, I can creature of habit. Once I found something that worked for me, the .60s and the .50s and the .48s for acoustic, and then obviously the 9s and the 10s for electric. I didn't feel the need to change. I was quite happy from that point on. So. And recently, actually, I'm trying 9 to 46s. So 10s on the EA and D and 9s on the GB and E, and they're really cool. They're on the 62. They're really nice. I like, it's kind of best of both worlds, really. They're really cool. So I'm kind of debating which one, do I like solely 9s or solely 10s, or do I like the 9s and the 10s, the 9s to 46s. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll ever really deviate from 9s or 10s, to be honest with you. I mean, I might, I really like the 7s I've got on my Epiphone Les Paul, but I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, so they did change over time. But like I say, plectrum-wise, I'm a very happy little bunny with 0.60 or 0.50 on electrics. I don't really feel the need to. I don't really feel the need to change them, to be honest with you. I'm quite happy where I am with them. Okay, so yeah, I hope it's answered your question. Going to move on to question 2 now. Question 2 should I say? We haven't done it yet. Question 2 is, how does John Frusciante get that psychedelic lead tone in the song Saviour off Californication album? Okay, so as far as I know, John used some kind of filter thing. I don't know what it is, but there's more than just a filter on this thing. And it sounds to me that maybe that wasn't the sound in the room on the day. So, and that's why I was trying to get in the intro jam. It's kind of not close. I wasn't after close. But I was after in the same kind of ballpark. Because what there is there's like a slapback delay on John's guitar. It's like that. There is a couple of repeats, but very, very light repeats. There's too many on that. Let's just turn that down. So, it's like that. Because when you hear John go, you can hear there's that kind of echo there. And I personally think, as well as a filter, I think he's got his Ibanez wah on the bass setting. And it's kind of like quite far forward but wedge. It's a very very Jimmy-esque kind of sound, really, to be honest. That's not really kind of in the thing. And and also I don't know how well you'll be able to hear that because of we're in the room. But the thing is, there's a lot that's gone into that sound post-production. You know what I mean? It makes you wonder what they did to it on the mixing desk. Because to get that kind of sound that I've got there... I can't manipulate my wah-wah because I'm not stood up, so I'm just kind of wedging the wah. So you got a lot of delay. It's the repeat is really strong, and you can hear that when John hits a string. You can hear the response behind it. That's actually a bit too fast, maybe. I don't know. Might be more like there. No, it's too slow. But so I personally believe there's a lot more to it than just this pedal that he said he used. I think there's it almost sounds like there's not a compressor. I don't think it's a compressor in there. But I reckon that's coming from the desk itself, most of the sound. But I think the Ibanez wah on the bass mode is being used and stuff like that. I really don't think it's just this synth pedal that he was supposed to have used. I reckon there's a lot more going on. I mean, there's delay as well, like I say, so, and you can really hear the delay. It's almost like a slap back, but not quite. It's quite. She's only 18. If you want to go further into the thing, it's got that kind of intro jam circa 2007 kind of tone. But I think the Saviour tone is achieved by. I would say it was probably his 55 Strat because that's the guitar that got mostly used on Californication sessions. I would say it's bridge pickup. I would say the Ibanez wah's on with a slapback with on the bass setting. Sorry. There's a slapback delay on it, which could have been added pre or post. I don't actually know. We will never know. And there's also reverb on it. Well, so there's a lot of reverb on that guitar tone as well. And also, it's definitely going through some kind of filter because it's kind of very muffled. It's like somebody's put a blanket over it. And you can simulate that by just turning the EQ off on the amp. I've got nothing on the EQ at this point in time. So my pedal board is just running totally, dead, really. It's just... there's nothing there, but it really works. And again, adding quite a bit of reverb to it really helps. So you can approximate it. You don't need the filter pedal. In all fairness, I might dive into this this tone a bit more at some point. Sorry, everybody, my nose is driving me insane again. Oh. Yeah, I might dive into this tone a bit more because it's a really cool tone. Obviously, I can't play the song, but I kind of Jimmy. Well, don't mean Jimmy, but like I kind of got, you know, I did my own version, if you will, of Saviour in the intro jam today. It was kind of in the vein. It's trying to be in the same vein, but not the same, if that makes any sense. So just to kind of like, you know, just because when I read that question, I went and listened to it again, and I was like, I really want to do an intro jam that pays homage to that. So it's the same chord progression as Saviour, and it's the same kind of sound, but not quite. I want it a little bit brighter, and you know. But the thing is, the Saviour sound, you can't recreate that because it's a studio sound. You know what I mean? It's like trying to recreate the Crazy Train guitar tone or any guitar tone. You know, you can only ever approximate. So don't kind of like go after it 100%. Then the best we could probably do is maybe 50-60%, if we're lucky. You know, even if you have the same pedals and amps and guitar, and you know, even if you're John Frusciante, I would highly doubt you could recreate that sound exactly the way it was at that time. So just bear that in mind. But I know what you mean, though. It's a gorgeous tone. It's a really cool tone, and I like the word psychedelic with it, because it is, you know, it's very kind of like, you know, with that delay, and the reverb and the wah and whatever filter it was going through, it's very kind of like very cool. But he's definitely manipulating the Ibanez wah, and it definitely sounds like it's on the bass mode. You can definitely hear him sweeping it. He's not doing it really fast. It's very subtle. You know, we're talking this, if that, throughout the entire solo. He's kind of got his foot on it, and he's augmenting little bits here and there, but you can hear it. The Ibanez wah is definitely in there. It's not just one pedal, the Saviour tone, at all. There is multiple things going on there. So there's reverb, delay, the wah, the guitar as well. I'm positive it's bridge pickup because of the way the tone responds. The Ibanez wah's bass tone does not respond the same on the neck pickup as the bridge. So I reckon it's definitely bridge pickup on this 55 Strat, personally. And it also sounds like it's the Marshall Major as well, on its own. The tonality, even with the wah on, sounds very plexi-ish. With kind of if you were to kind of plug into the bass channel, you know, the second input, the really dark thing, it sounds like that to me. It sounds like he's plugged straight into the major on the bass side. You know, because you have two sides on a plexi. You've got channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 2's lower impedance, darker tone, and it sounds to me like he's in there with this kind of sound, and he's got it wound up a little bit, maybe about 2 or 3-ish on the volume, and the EQ's really low, if on at all. Might be all on 0. And I feel that's how he's kind of achieving this sound. I mean, I don't doubt there's some kind of filter on it, but whether that's actually what John added on the floor when he recorded the solo, or was it something they added later in production, or was it something they added through the mixing desk, you know, or whatever, you know. We'll never know, because I think John did say he definitely used some kind of filter pedal for it, and you can definitely tell there is some kind of filter on it, 'cause it sounds all weird like this. It sounds muffled, but its role is, you know, its role is important, but so is the wah, and so is the delay, and so is the reverb, and so is the guitar. You know what I mean? It's not just that synth pedal, or whatever, that filter pedal, or whatever it was, that's giving that sound. It's not that like that one pedal is doing the entire thing. It's multiple elements to that sound to give it that tonality. You know what I mean? It's not just that filter pedal. So don't rush out and buy it, because I don't know what it is, and I don't care, to be honest with you. I don't care for what it is, to be honest with you. It doesn't really interest me, because I have enough pedals here that I could simulate it if I wanted to anyway. But you know, I might do a video diving into it a bit more. But like I said in other videos, you know, just because John's got it doesn't mean you need it. And just because John used it doesn't mean you need to use it. So apart from, obviously, the two holy grails, the DS2 and the Ibanez wah. But like I said, the Ibanez wah can be got around as well, as we know now. But anyway, so So I personally think, to get that psychedelic lead tone in Saviour, you need reverb, delay, Stratocaster bridge pickup. The Ibanez, while really on the bass setting, you really need that because it's got this kind of like throaty, kind of low end kind of thing. There's the only way I could describe it. But it's got that thing. It's got that sound, and again, John is manipulating the wah-wah. You can hear it. It's very subtle, but he is manipulating it. The filter pedal, I mean, if you want to get it, go ahead and get it, but you don't need it. You know what I mean? You can get around that filter thing by just augmenting your amp's EQ, or any other pedal, multi-effects unit will have a similar kind of filter thing on it. I don't think it's massively important if you don't have it, if that makes any sense. What is more important is the delay and the reverb and the wah, in my personal opinion. I reckon those three elements, and obviously using a bridge pickup on a Stratocaster, those three elements to me sound really more key, to be honest with you, than the filter pedal. So, because the wah is acting as the filter. I mean, who knows? John might have got it wrong. They might have used a filter on one take and then ended up not using that take, but John maybe got mistaken. I mean, it could happen. It could very easily happen. I don't think it would, but you never know. But either way, snuffles. Is there anything else I need to say? No, that's it. So yeah, just bear that in mind. That's how you get it. But like I say, you need delay, reverb, and a bass kind of wah. Really, I mean, you could probably get kind of a simulation of this kind of bass wah thing with like a multi-effects unit wah, where you can change the parameters, so to say. But a Crybaby won't do it. I'm thinking now though, something like the Jerry Control wah might do it, or the Kirk Hammett wah might do it, because they've got a real throaty voice, especially the Jerry Control wah. That's got a real Jerry Control wah is just ridiculous. Ooh. It's one of those few signature artist pedals where I actually want it, mainly because I'm a Jerry fan, but mainly because I love his wah tone, and his signature wah wah has that kind of thing. It's really, really cool. Anyway, they might do that. The Kirk Hammett wah as well might get that kind of like throaty mid thing. If you kind of wedge it, that might do it as well. But you can tell it's the Ibanez. You can tell it's the Ibanez on the bass setting, really, to be honest with you. Anyway, so yeah, so I hope that's answered your question. But it is a super cool sound. I mean, it is a gorgeous tone. But I say what's making it really spacey is the reverb and delay, and that's just what's giving it that kind of real wide spectral sound, if you will. It's gorgeous. So I hope it's such a question. I'm going to move on to question 3 now. Question 3. In your video searching for the Blood Sugar Sex Magic tone, you recommended the Ed 1 Marshall Compressor. Do you recommend it if you're using the Katana? Yes. You mentioned that I always use the brown mode for that. Yeah, if I was going after the Blood Sugar Sex Magic tone with a Katana, I would use the clean setting. I wouldn't use the brown mode. The brown mode is kind of like John Live and John 1998 onwards. But if I was going for the Blood Sugar Sex Magic album tone, I would use the clean channel of the Katana and then use a compressor on top of that to squish it, basically. But I do recommend the Ed, yeah, and I do recommend using it with the Katana if you're going after that Blood Sugar Sex Magic tone, because a compressor is the most important pedal, really, when it comes... Well, yeah, I would say that. It is the most important pedal when it comes down to the Blood Sugar Sex Magic tone. You can replicate the chorus, you can replicate the wah tone. John doesn't really use wah that much. I mean, there's the Psycho Sexy and a few bits here and there, and there's obviously the bass wah in... the Ibanez bass wah function in Naked in the Rain? No? Yeah? I don't know. I can't remember. Terrible song names. I think he's Naked in the Rain. I'm pretty sure it's Naked in the Rain. He uses the bass wah function on the Ibanez wah. But, again, it doesn't have to be the bass wah. You don't have to use that. But it does help because it sounds more right. But the compressor is definitely the most important thing. I wouldn't even say the DS2 is important for the Blood Sugar Sex Magic tone, because it's kind of a ratty distortion. I don't mean that as in the rat pedal. It's just a nasty distortion that John's got during Blood Sugar Sex Magic. It's not particularly warm and smooth and nice. And I think you could replicate that tone kind of using kind of any distortion. To be honest with you, it's not the distinctive DS2 tone we know from John, if that makes any sense. You know, I mean, it's a totally different animal, the distortion in Blood Sugar Sex Magik. So, you know, it's not that warm, big, fuzzy tone. It's really harsh. It's really harsh. Especially when you hear it isolated. On the YouTube video where you got the isolated guitar tracks, you hear the distortion. It's so gnarly. It's not. I don't think it's particularly nice, to be honest with you. I don't really like the tone. It fits the album perfectly, but I don't like the sound. It's not my. You know, I would never go after that sound. I mean, unless I was recording it and needed a certain thing, which is obviously what was going on there. But it's not really a tone for me. But yeah, I would recommend, you know, any kind of distortion will kind of do the job there, really, to be honest with you. You don't necessarily need a DS2 for the Blood Sugar Sex Magik distortion tone. But I definitely recommend a compressor. You need a compressor. It's a must for the Blood Sugar Sex Magik tone. You can't really get it without it. It's impossible. So, because you need that kind of pop and squish. Pop and squish. Wasn't there a duo from the 50s? Anyway. But yeah, and like I say, if you're using a Katana, just use the clean channel and just stick a compressor into it. As long as it's kind of like the first pedal coming from the amp, so like from a pedal going to a compressor, and then whatever's after that, you know, it'll control everything, so all be good. So yeah. Yeah, I hope that's made some kind of sense, but I definitely recommend it. And let's say it's the most important pedal when you go for the Blood Sugar Sex Magik tone. You also asked, when is part 2 coming of a Blood Sugar Sex Magik tone hum? It's not. I can't do it anymore because of copyright issues. Because, I mean, I could do it, but the thing is I can't play the songs. And if I can't play the songs, the riffs are in context. And if they're not in context, it's hard to hear. You know what I mean? It's like if I made up my own kind of riff with that tone, it might, you know, because you're not associating it with that thing, it'll sound different, if that makes any sense. So I've just decided not to bother, which is real kick in the teeth. Because I've really wanted to. I feel like I got kind of close. It was about 30-40% in that first video, but I'm pretty positive I could get better. But I can't because copyright. Because Warner Brothers are greedy sods, and I can't, and I don't want to lose my channel to them, and I don't want to get the video I don't want to put like all the work in to do a video and then like it just get blocked because, you know, they don't like this bit because it sounds too close to that, or they don't like this bit because it sounds too close to that. I mean, I don't know. So basically, sadly, part 2 won't be coming, which really annoys me. It's like part 2 or 3 of Voodoo Child won't be happening. You know, I can't teach any more John Frusciante songs because of, there are a few things I can teach that John does, but I can't teach songs, which is really annoying. And I've got to be careful how close I am to stuff because of copyright. It's just dangerous, you know what I mean? It's so freaking scary. Anyway, and it's annoying as well to just get your video blocked for like nothing. It's so stupid. Anyway, but yeah, there you go, people of Tube. What can I say? I don't know. Oh, when will Dave ever learn that his phone has a silent mode and it can't be interrupted if it's on it? I'm an idiot. So I've lost my train of thought. Blood Sugar Sex Magik, yeah, it won't be coming. I can't do it because of copyright. I agree with it to an extent, but I'm doing it to teach. Sure, it's fair trade, fair use. Obviously, it isn't. Anyway, negativity aside, where are we? So yeah. So anyway, so I hope it's answered your question. Definitely recommend a compressor for that thing, but unfortunately, I can't do any more videos on it. Okay, so moving on. Final question today. Question 4 is. Could you explain what your songs are about, especially Never Fade, and do you plan to sell tabs for your songs in the future? Let me answer the last part first. Tabs is something I can't do. I'd have to get somebody to do them for me because I'm dyslexic. So I can't read tab, let alone write it. You know, if I was to tab out one of my songs or an intro jam, we might be halfway there in 2050. maybe, if we're lucky, and that'd be bearing in mind I wouldn't take a break. I would have to do that straight. Anyway, but no, I can't do tab. I'm no good with tab because I can't even read the bloody stuff. It just jumbles. It's like music. I can't read music because of the same reason. It just goes crazy. My nose is driving me insane. It dances around the place. I have difficulty with numbers, so I would have to get somebody to do that, or somebody would have to do it for me. And I don't think I'd want to sell tab. I think that's a bit cheeky. I don't like the idea of kind of dirtying things with money, if you will, because I don't really like... Money is one of those necessary evils in life, you know what I mean? It's like, without it, you're in trouble, basically. And I don't like that. And, it's an idealist view of things, I know. It's not reality in any way, shape, or form. But, I don't like the idea of kind of that. I don't know. It just feels weird. It just feels strange. But no, tabs and stuff, I can't do that personally because of my dyslexia. I just can't do that. Just give you an idea. Look at my horrific writing. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. I mean, there you go. Look at that. Can anyone read that? I can barely read that. It's like a dead spider has been dipped in ink and just dragged across the page. Anyway, But yeah, the tabs for the future, I don't know. It's not really something I've looked into or thought about, to be honest with you. Like I said, I can't do tabs. I can't read tab. I much prefer to recommend learning by ear. Personally, I think it's better for you as a musician and as a player and as a guitarist to learn by ear. I reckon tabs are okay, but developing your ear is more important. Definitely more important. So, could you explain what your songs are about, especially Never Fade? Well, I think I've explained what Never Fade is a fair few times. I think I explained before it came out. I don't know when I released that thing, but that song. But I'm pretty sure I've explained about Never Fade. But most of my songs recently, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I could probably go through it in a video if you really wanted me to. But there's like 50 odd songs, so it'd have to be in parts. People of the Tube, I need your help with this one because I don't know if this is something that anyone would want to see or everyone would want to see. So I need your help here. So would you like to hear the meanings behind certain songs? You know what I mean? I've explained what some are about, but I will happily do it again if people want. If there's demand for that kind of video, I will happily sit down and explain what these songs are about and why I wrote them and what they're about, but and their meaning and whatever. But I need to know that people would be actually interested in seeing it, and I think but I'm pretty sure I've explained about Never Fade because Never Fade's for my grandma. It's my tribute to her. It's my dedication to her. So and people ask me all the time, "Oh, can you teach it?" It's like I can't even play it on my own because it upsets me too much. It actually, it reduces me to tears if I play Never Fade. So I can't teach it. I can't play it. It's just too upsetting for me. What that song means, it's just too heavy of a subject for me to actually kind of like be able to sit down and really pick it apart, and I don't really want to pick it apart for that reason, if that makes any sense. Like I don't want to get in there with like a fine tooth comb and really examine it because I just don't want to do it. It's too upsetting. It's hard for me to cope with that song. It's really hard for me to deal with, and it's one of those songs that I'd rather not play if I don't have to. Not because I hate it. It's because I love it. It's just the fact I just can't cope with it. It's just too upsetting. But I will explain about other songs if there is demand. So people of the Tube, if you want to see videos of me talking about what my songs are about and in depth and this that, and the other, let me know in the comment section below. And if there is a specific song you want to know about, like what it's about or this that, and the other, leave it in a comment. And I'll add it to. I'll set up a list if there is demand for this. If there is an interest in this kind of video, leave a comment of which song you'd like to know what it's about, and and I'll do it in a video. But I need to know you want to see it first. You know what I mean? I need to know that people would be actually interested in that, because I don't want to do a video on it and talk for an hour about these songs and people's like, well, that's boring. You know what I mean? So I want to know that if it'll make you happy, basically. So let me know, people of the tube. So yeah. So if that is the case, I'll do a video on it. So yeah, there we go, everybody. Yeah, I hope that's your questions okay. I hope there's been something in there. Sorry about the interruptions. It's been quite an interrupted video as well. I don't like that. I don't like doing videos where it's multiple edits and jump cuts and stuff like that. I don't like it. But I hope some of it has made sense anyway. I hope there's something you can take away. Thanks for your questions, everybody. If you want to submit a question for Q&A Wednesday, description box below has an email link. Email me there. I go from sequentially. I don't randomly pick ones that look like what I'll answer that one. I just go through them as they come through. So so basically, no one gets missed out unless I've already answered your question, in which case I don't answer the same question twice. I used to do that, and it just seemed really silly because I was just saying the same thing over and over again. So if I don't answer your question, it probably means I've already answered it, and and if I haven't answered your question yet, it means I've not got to it yet. So just give me some time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. Yeah, I will speak to you and see you again very soon. But I'll see you on Friday for another vid. I forget what it is. What is it? No, don't remember. No, I don't remember what it is. Oh well, yeah. Whatever it is, we'll get there. I'll see you on Friday anyway. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great one. Bye now.